Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here tonight on another episode of A World Awakening. If I look a little tired, it's because I am. I've been away at an undisclosed location for the better part of a week, filming and a lot of travel and running through airports and then, hurrying to get there and then waiting for hours. You know how it goes. But I got home last night and the first thing I did was just check and make sure everything was in place for tonight's special guest, my friend Karen Tatro. I call Karen my friend, even though we have been like ships passing in the night for years. She'll be at an event one weekend. I'll be at an event right in the same area the next weekend, but she's off doing another event someplace else. We keep missing each other. So it just got to the point where it was just, it went from the ridiculous to the sublime. And I thought, this is the perfect time to have this very special woman on A World Awakening. So, Bill, if you could come in, you can help me introduce our very special guest tonight. How are you doing, darling?
That's a producer thing. I always mute, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Doing great, but I thought you were going to say the first thing I did when I got home was check on Peanut Butter Cup.
Oh, well, that's a given. I was slathered in puppy spit for about 15 or 20 minutes until she had no energy left. She went completely, utterly out of her mind. Had I had the presence of mind to film it, it would have been hysterical. It definitely would have gone viral. But no, I just wanted to cuddle her. It was a long time for me to be away from her. And yeah, she's right here underfoot. There she is.
Of course,
hanging.
She's going to stay close to mommy tonight.
Oh, yes. And last night. Oh, my God. From the moment I arrived, there's just nothing like it. I feel certain, Bill, if dogs ruled the world, what a wonderful place it would be.
There's a lot of cat lovers out there, too.
Well, yeah, but cats are, I'm one of them, but I don't think it's a good idea for cats to rule the world. I really think about it. Think about their attitudes and their catitudes. No, they're too ornery. Dogs are just so full of light and love and sweet kisses. It's different. It's just different.
Well, before we introduce your guest, I just want to say to everyone that's watching right now, Annie's going to be part of the KGRADB's 10th year anniversary special on Thursday. And you're definitely going to want to tune in because she has a special announcement. What a tease that is.
I know.
To make.
I know. I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to it, my dear. This is great. Wow. This is big news.
Your guest, Karen, she has quite a bit of books out. And I'm going to put that on the screen before we formally introduce her. Okay. And she also did an investigation at the farmhouse, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
So let's just put a couple of her books up on the screen. Spirit Adventures.
Yeah.
And there's actually 2 of them.
Yes.
And also this collection here. And then she sent me a couple of other photos I'm going to share right now. And she'll explain exactly what these are when she comes on shortly. Okay. And you can see the wisdom cards that she does. That's amazing. Karen, by the way, I would like to find out where I can get this. So when you come on, you got to make sure you tell everybody where we can find all your material.
Yes,
so
without
any more delay, let's bring on Karen.
Without further ado, there she is. Hello. There's my girl.
Have a great show, you two.
Thank you.
Go up.
All that is missing between us is a physical hug.
I know.
One of those like 20-minute hugs.
I know, definitely. Listening to you, I'm like, yeah. Literally for the past, I think it's been 3 years that Jen and Corey have owned the house.
Yes, it'll be 3 years in June.
Yeah, right from, I think I came on about maybe 6 months after they purchased it. And from that moment, I have wanted to like, oh my God, I just want to pick your brain. I wanted to meet you. I wanted to talk to you years before, because if you remember, a long time ago, I
ago,
tried to bring you to
New
my
Hampshire.
small town in Antrim
Yep.
when the movie came out, but nobody was really, I guess, aware of the movie and who you were. And I couldn't get enough people to warrant flying you out here. And I thought, oh, I'm so sorry. But I'm like, damn it, I really wanted to meet her.
I know. It's okay. Yeah, it was right around just when it was opening. And, you know, I hadn't done I had done a few interviews and things like that around my books, but I wasn't really, really well known. And now we'd have to turn people away.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, it's everything has changed, and it's so bizarre for me, you know, because hi Amber, I went from being somebody that was completely anonymous to I like your glasses. They're adorable.
You like the glasses? My husband just came in the room and he's like, take your glasses off your head. I'm like, what?
What? Yeah, well, my dad just came in and brought me a cup of coffee. God bless him. So, you know, I went from being, you know, virtually anonymous in the paranormal world, you know, the community, to being probably the most well-known person in the field in terms of associations with film anyway, because of the success of The Conjuring and because Warner Brothers put me out as the face of it. So I did numerous national shows. When the movie opened, I traveled literally from coast to coast. I went from one premiere to another, to another, to another. And it changed everything. I think it speaks to the power of film itself as a genre, but also to the fact that the story was so compelling that people wanted to hear more. They wanted to hear the truth behind a story, you know, a movie based on a true story, based on the case files of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and bearing no actual resemblance to our story that I wrote about in House of Darkness, House of Light. So I went from being an author languishing in obscurity to really, as most do, most authors languish in obscurity. You know, their work's around for 5 minutes, even if they put 10 years into it, and to being one of the very best-selling authors in this field and beyond. So I'm grateful to the film, but it's not really our story. Right. You probably, having investigated the farmhouse, I'm really very interested in your experiences. And I have to apologize to you because you've sent me several messages basically saying, and this, and this, and this, and you know, and I didn't really delve into it with you at the time, not because I was traveling or I was too busy or, you know, any of that. I wanted to save it for when I had you on the show so that, you know, kind of in a selfish way, I could be surprised and, you know, filled with wonder at the same time that our viewers are. And the only thing that I saw that you put up was we had a quick chat back and forth about extraterrestrial activity around the farm. Yeah. And you went there and filmed something phenomenal right over the house. Very similar to things that I had seen right over the house. Every time I'm there, I see something in the skies, and it's without fail. It comes around, and I've been asked, you know, are they always here when you are? And I said, yeah, they're my security detail. Of course they're here.
She's back.
They are.
She's back. Wait a minute.
She's back. Yeah. So So tell me about your experience. Tell me about anything you want to tell me about. We have 2 hours
I know.
that are going to be all about your experiences. But if you want to delve right into farm experiences, just trigger Bill. If you've got anything that you want us to focus on or put up on the screen. But the video that I saw was very compelling.
It was, so I'm trying to remember when. It's been kind of funny because when I went to the house, I mean, obviously the Conjuring movie itself was, for all of us that love paranormal and love being scared and love, you know, true stories of haunted houses and experiences, it was a amazing movie. You know, taking out the whole true story or the facts and fiction of the actual storyline, the movie itself was really captured everything that somebody would expect living in a haunted house. So I loved the movie. So of course I was drawn when, I'm trying to remember when it all happened, but I believe it was Bill Brock that said to me, "Hey, you know, my good friend Corey purchased the house," and we started the conversation, and I reached out to Corey and Jen, and they're like, "Yeah, this would be great to have you come and you can do investigations." And they really hadn't started anything at that time. They had just, I think it was literally like 6 months that they had owned it. And I came on really kind of like under the radar because they weren't hosting events. They hadn't put things out publicly. So my first experience going to the house was shortly after they bought it. And, you know, it was a typical thing. I was intrigued because I had knew you. I knew it was, you know, based on true story. I also know how TV works and movies, and thought, okay, well, I'm going to go here and I'm going to experience this for myself. And, you know, just no preconceived notions. I'm just going to go. And so many things about that house over time have, I don't even know how to explain it, have been a little bit mind-blowing, because I went to a home to experience the spirits there. You know, is Bathsheba real? Is what's portrayed of her real? I'm going to go for myself. And over the past 2 years, it's become a house that has opened doors for me that I didn't know existed within me. Mm-hmm. I'm used to communicating with spirits, people who have lived, passed, are still residing in a location. And I'm not used to talking to something that's not human. And that was pretty freaky. This is the first location that I've ever encountered that there are other layers of things going on there than just the spirits residing. So it's like, okay. And so many times I've wanted to reach out to you and say, oh my God, Andrea, what the hell am I talking to? You know, it's like, I mean, seriously, I'm laughing about it, but that particular night we took the video. So I know, because there's like so many things to talk about. I'm trying to figure out which way is the best, you know, lead in for it. But I had gone to the house, well, in 2019, I think I was there every month. Pretty much once a month I was there. In the month of March, I think I was there 6 times in that month, because that's one of my things, of my passion, is to, you know, host events so that people can experience this for themselves. Mm-hmm. That's really why I do that. And it can be a little bit tricky at times, because with everybody that I go with or signs up to come, you know, some people have never experienced investigating at all. And they really, you know, their eyes are really big, and they're excited over anything that happens. And then some people are, veterans in it, and they've been investigating for years and years. So there's always that mix of people that come, and I love it because it gives me the opportunity to allow them to play with their abilities.
Yes.
And it allows them kind of in somewhat of a controlled, safe place to experience exploring their abilities for themselves, maybe opening up their mind to other possibilities. And that's what I love about being an event host. That's really my passion. But I never anticipated that I would have something that's not human that I would be tuning into.
Yes.
And that happened really the first day that I went. So to kind of Bill's got the video of that, but with the lights.
Yes.
So the very first time I went, I had a group, I think there were 15 people that were with me. And first of all, I arrived early, and it was about 20 minutes prior to arriving that I had the familiar feeling of a spirit joining me, because usually whenever I'm going anywhere, I always get visited before I arrive. And I had a woman and a little boy in the back of my car. And I could tune into this woman, and she was very eloquently dressed. Her hair was all up. She was very beautiful. She was kind of like on the younger side, or at least she was presenting herself that way to me. And she had this little boy with him, but he wasn't interacting with me. I could hear her, and I was talking to her as I was driving, but he was just kind of sitting there. And I'm like, okay, so I obviously I know there's a woman and there's this little boy that's there. And after I arrived to the house, and I'll talk about Bathsheba after, but I immediately connected with her. As soon as I walked in the door, that was the woman that was with me. And she always presents herself in a younger version than obviously when she passed. And she's very beautiful. She's got this dress on. It buttons all the way up to the top of her neck. And so I had my conversations with her, but that night, there were a group of us that were in the library.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Ange had the SLS going on, and I was talking to Bathsheba that was standing kind of behind me. And all of a sudden I had this feeling of the room started to get really dense. And Jeremy was standing across from me, and I could see behind him this very big, dark shadow, kind of a big mass, come into the room and just stand kind of a little bit behind him, and I could feel it, but I couldn't identify it. I couldn't really see it as a person. And I'm like, okay, all right, what is this? And within a few minutes, I could hear it talking to me. And it had a male's voice, but it said to me that it wasn't a male and it wasn't a female. And I started to ask questions. Jeremy was standing across from me, and he was kind of starting to tune in a little bit too. And I'm like, okay, this isn't something that's human. And I knew right away that it wasn't. Mm-hmm. And it had this little bit of a sinister voice to it. Yeah. And it said, well, I'll be whatever you want me to be. And I'm like, oh, okay. The room got really dense. I mean, you could feel the heaviness in the room. And Jeremy was trying to figure out, he's like, well, I think, is this an elemental? And I'm like, I don't know. It's a Native American. I don't think so. No, I don't think it's Native American. I'm not feeling that. And it started to talk to me, because I'm very clear audience. So for those people that don't know me, you know, I've been a medium since I was a little girl, but I guess my strongest gift is I hear spirits talking to me first, and then I will get the visual. So I'm hearing him talking to me, and he's telling me that he's never lived a human life. He's never lived on this earth. He was in our galaxy, and the whole time, Andrea, I'm like, what the hell am I talking to? like
yeah, not who, but what.
What? It wasn't who.
Yeah.
It was definitely. I've never had that happen, and at that particular time, as I'm saying, because I've got a group of people, I think there were 8 of us that were in the room, and there were people that were upstairs. There were people that were in the, which I guess you guys would call like the seance room, that were kind of wandering around and, you know, listening to us in the room, but they weren't coming in the room. So there's only, I think, 8 of us that were in the room. And everyone started to kind of get like, oh my God, you know, what is this? And I'm like, I don't really know. So they're all looking at me for answers. And I'm like, I don't really know. I don't know what this is, but it's standing right there. It's this big, huge black mass, and it's not human. But it's got a voice like, you know, it's talking like a male. And all of a sudden, the lights in the, you know, the chandelier in the library room dulled down and went out. And the lights in the entire house were all doing different things. So it wasn't like when your furnace comes on, where all the lights in the entire house will do the same thing. This was, the lights in the library were going on and off. The living room chandelier was doing its thing. And the upstairs, the ladies were screaming, who's turning off the lights? Corey and Jen thought that we were messing up their electricity because they were in their little area. And I'm thinking, what the hell is this? Because it has the power to affect the entire house lights.
Yes.
And that's what you see in the video. I've never had that experience before of something that powerful be in my presence.
Yeah, welcome to my world.
I don't know if I want to.
I grew up with stuff like that happening all the time, honey. Oh, Jen, oh, my love.
Oh, is she there? Yeah, she remembers that. It was very weird. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you gave Bill video of it?
I did
of
give
what was
Bill
happening.
video.
Okay, Bill, if you could play the video of the house investigation, that would.
Touch that freaking
Oh, there goes. Okay. We got you.
Who's doing it?
Somebody video! I just got that. I got it.
Or is that doing it on its own?
No, it's doing it on its own. It's doing it in the whole house.
Sir, are you doing this?
No, because the other one over there didn't do it. No, that one, but when she's standing next to you, I'm getting like clammy. No, I'm like on fire. Like, feel my face. We get you. We got you. We got you.
I got that second time.
You obviously want us to know something.
Did it come through here?
Okay. Yeah, see, it's doing it in the whole house.
Are they laughing back here?
No, they're getting freaked out because it keeps going, it's doing it in the whole house.
Can you ask with your rods if they're causing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that feeling. It's, I always assumed that, well, based on a number of reasons, but I always assumed that part of the way that spirits gained enough energy to manifest in form was through electricity and also water being a conduit. And so that house is completely surrounded with water in every direction. And Jen says they even checked the breakers. It was a weird night. Yeah. And it would happen all the time when we lived there. That, honest to God, I mean, that would freak a lot of people out.
Yeah.
But it happened with such frequency when we lived there that, and, you know, my dad had the electricity checked, had the breakers checked, just like, Jen and Corey. They're like, okay, there's got to be. Like, Jen and Corey are both extremely intelligent,
Yeah,
very pragmatic people.
And they're not.
And yeah,
they're not exaggerators.
Yep. And I just figure they assumed this is a really old house. It's probably got some electrical issues. And, and then pursued making sure that everything, beyond the inspection prior to buying the house, making sure, double checking, triple checking that everything was working fine. And that's the thing, if you do any deductive reasoning about this, which they both certainly have, you realize that this kind of activity and interruptions of electrical service generally happen when there's either a manifestation in progress or just about to happen. And that was consistently so with us. And I believe it's been consistently so with them.
Yeah.
The lights don't go on and off just arbitrarily any time of the day. It's when there's someone who's investigating the house, conducting research in the house, speaking to spirits in the house, communicating with what's in the house, that these light anomalies persist. And then when everybody clears out, the problem is over. So it's not because the house is old or that the house has been in any way neglected in terms of its plumbing or its electricity or, anything. No, nothing could be further from the truth. It was that
crazy.
It's partly it's a way I think that they communicate, make their presence known.
Yeah.
But I really do think that they're also drawing energy from the house, which is why the lights don't just go out, they brown out.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back. There'll be another surge and they'll come back because the entity has already drawn energy. And when the entity is done drawing the energy, the lights come back up in the house. That was my experience of it anyway. Pretty cool stuff, huh, Karen?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And ever since then, it's like, so, that was the first night. So that was my very first visit there. And since then, it's like every time I go, and again, sometimes it can be frustrating having a group of people that, with such variety to them, because I've had this particular entity come out pretty much every time that I go, but it doesn't always present based on the people that are with me. I mean, I've had people leave in the middle of the night because as soon as they start thinking that we're talking to something that's not human, they're like, I'm out of here. This is not what I want to do. And I'm like, dude, really, it's okay. It's like, okay. So I think there've been times where it hasn't communicated as much as it's wanted to, but it has told me, on several occasions, it's pretty consistent that, and it feels weird even saying this because I feel, and I know you're going to know what I'm talking about. When you have an experience that questions your sanity and you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, I've already gone through embracing my abilities and having spirit talk to me. And I've already gone through and accepted all of that. But now I'm in this like, okay, this particular spirit tells me that it's from the water. I call him the water man. And it's consistent. It comes from the water. It's in our galaxy. Never lived a human body. And for a while, I'm like, okay, are you like a collective energy? Like, is it like you are a manifestation of the experiences that have happened here? I'm not a scientist. So this whole thing for me is like, okay, I don't quite grasp this. I've never talked to something that's not human, that's telling me that it is the water. And then I started talking to Corey, and Corey's like, well, the property sits on an amazing amount of water. And I'm like, okay. And then I start thinking, okay, well, we all come from the same stuff. We're all made of the same material. So
Yes.
there is intelligence in water.
Yes.
And how is it that I'm tuning into water? And that's crazy to me. Even saying it, it's like, that's freaking crazy to me. But and nobody else hears it. So that's what's frustrating for me is like nobody, I'm like, can you see that? You guys seeing this? Nobody can see it. I've had it come up to me in the kitchen one morning after everybody had left. My daughter and Ange, who does a lot of my research, and I were the people that were left in the morning, and I was in the kitchen. I was making a cup of coffee, and I was looking out the window, and the place is just breathtaking. And it's got this like comforting feeling that you just want to sit there all day and look out the window or sit out. I mean,
it has its own aura.
It does.
The house itself
really does. So I'm looking out and I'm admiring it, and I feel it coming in the kitchen behind me, and it says to me to not be afraid of it. And it told me that I had more abilities than I know. So I came out of the kitchen, and my daughter looked at me and she's like, "What's the matter, Mom?" And I'm like, "This goddamn thing's talking to me. I don't know what the hell it is." So we sit down and we pull out the Ouija board, and it basically went through. It spelled that it was water, and it spelled out very clearly that I need to dive into my abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that I've wanted to ask you is my feelings with the house in general is, yes, I feel, and we can talk about her after, but I mean, I feel Bathsheba is definitely there, and there are earth spirits that are there. I've met many different spirits that are there pretty consistently. And then there's this, I'll say, the water man that comes and talks to me. And then I also feel there are some, I'm going to be truthful, there is like another presence there that has a darker side to it. And I don't quite know its intent and exactly what it is. And so I'm trying to figure out how much do I open myself up and how much do I protect myself? And I wanted to ask you that. When did you know? Like, did you actually have the same waterman come around?
Yes, we had several manifestations in the house. One that was hovering directly over me that was not very nice to my sister Cindy when she saw it. And she thought I was dead. She did. She said I was not moving at all. It was moving, hovering on top of me and just undulating over the top of me. I have no recollection of this at all. This was Cindy's story. I never woke up when it happened, but it was consciousness. That's how she described it. It had consciousness. Yeah. And when it noticed that she saw it, the swirling gray, blue, misty mass, kind of not translucent, not opaque, kind of somewhere in between, came swooshing down off the bed, and it grabbed her by the ankles and started pulling her down my bedroom stairs on her belly.
Really?
And she wrapped her arm around the banister and was screaming, and no one woke up. No one heard her. And when the tension between the pulling of her ankles and her arm being used to hold her weight in place, when that tension like got to like a rubber band where you've pulled it as far as you can, it let go, and it was gone. And It was absolutely traumatizing, a horrifying experience for my little sister. One that she had a great deal of difficulty expressing, as I needed to ask her about that to include this particular story in the book, and she didn't want to include it. She didn't. I said, Cindy, this is important that people know that there can be physical contact, that it can harm you, that it not all spirit has good intentions, and can actually be dangerous. And I said that's why this story is important to include in the trilogy. And then I read it to her start to finish when I completed writing that particular subchapter, because I wanted to protect her, of course. My and all my family, there are several stories that were so intense, so extreme, or so personal that the girls didn't want them included in the books. But that one made it, and I'm really glad, because people need to know there's a chapter called "It's All Fun and Games Until Someone Gets Hurt." It's and people who are real bona fide investigators know exactly what that means. This is nothing to toy with. And especially when, I have photographs of elementals on that property, full faces, well-defined facial features in the trees at the bottom of the hill. I won't even put them out publicly, because people are going to immediately scream Photoshop, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. If you can't handle it, that's fine, but don't start calling it bogus. Do not. I know that there far more than spirits exist at the farmhouse, and every time I go, I have encounters with the galactic family. Every time that I go, every single time, there's some point of correlation and integration between an extraterrestrial presence and the presence of spirit in that house. And I still have yet to figure it out, but I do know that it could exist. It exists. Candace wants to know, could it be all the ghosts, shadow people, weird energy, possibly alien related? Yes, that's entirely plausible. And if you really think about it, spirit is no longer of this realm. It is not of the earth anymore. And so technically, by definition, extraterrestrial.
Well, that was one of the interesting things, because one of the questions I remember asking it in the beginning, when I was trying to, I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is, because we've tried to communicate with this several times, and it does get frustrating, because we'll start communications with it, and it gets interrupted because other people are coming in. When you're with a group of people and that's not necessarily their focus, and where I'm the event host, I have to really kind of make sure that I'm there for everybody. So many times we just start to get like really sound communication sessions with it, and then we get interrupted, or we have to stop because we have to go do something else. But it has, at one point, I'm pretty sure that it had told me, I couldn't quite grasp if it was something that was physically living and had passed. And it had told me no, that basically it is alive, and it is an intelligence that is there. Couple times, and I didn't really tell people this, but there were a few times that I felt the need to go outside, and I could see, there were times that I could see the soldiers, like a line of people that would come from the woods, and they would all be coming closer and closer to the house. And then there were times that I saw like a big bubble above the house.
Mhm.
And I thought, we need to go outside. And we would go outside and I wouldn't see anything. And we would walk around. And there were a few times that we had experiences of lights being down in the woods.
Mhm.
But it was never the weather to go out and try to find them. But that particular night with the UFO lights, and I laugh still to this day because Corey, he teases me every time I come to the house. He gives me such a hard time. He's like, of all the nights, because when I first started going there, I would go running in and I'd knock on the door, Corey. Oh my God, this just happened. And he'd say, it's a haunted house, Karen.
I know he's so deadpan. He ought to be British. I know.
I'm like, okay. So the night that the lights showed up, he was so mad at me because he's like, you didn't come in and wake me up. There's a goddamn UFO out in my front yard and you didn't come and wake me up. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It was like we were lost in the moment. But that particular night, and that wasn't that long ago, was probably the first night the house itself kind of threatened me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've been going there a lot. I've had multiple communications with the spirits there. That particular night, we were sitting in the library and I was tired. And I just felt like, you know, something, I can't even, my senses were like blocked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm not tuning into anything. And I felt
my sister calls it being in the bubble.
Being in the bubble.
And you're already communicating, or a spirit is communicating with you. And it's like, it breaches the space-time continuum.
Yeah,
it breaches
weird.
Sound. All of a sudden, you don't hear anything that's going on around you. You're just in this almost like vacuum sealed place with something else.
Yep.
Or someone
That's what's
else
happening. And I was sitting in the chair and I don't know if she's watching or not, but Amber was sitting in the living room and the door was open so she could, oh, there she is. She could see me. And she was looking at me and she's like, Karen, your face is changing. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, you're looking like an old lady. Like your face is morphing. And I just kind of felt like, you know what? I think I need to get up and go in the other room. So I got up and I left the room and I came back in, and Dawn was using the dowsing rods. And I walked around for a little bit and I came back in the room and she's like, Karen, she goes, I think someone is wanting to talk to you. And she went on using the rods and the rods ended up spelling out to her that the person she was communicating with was a guide to me and was protecting me from the evil in the house, which was very bizarre, like interactions. It was a very strange evening. And I've never had my senses shut off like that before, where literally I couldn't tune into anything in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of looked at her and I'm like, okay. I got up and I left the room again. And at one point, I saw a woman come around the corner from the kitchen. She looked like she came from the swamp, to be quite honest. She had, her hair was all thin and kind of like wet looking, hanging in front of her face. And she was very skinny.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that spirit in the house.
You have?
Yes, with long, mousy hair, very thin, like looks emaciated. She was maybe anorexic.
Yep.
Or there wasn't enough food. Yep. And there were plenty of times during the course of history of that house, of the Richardson Arnold estate, where there were, I'm sure, lean winters where, the garden wasn't productive enough and the weather didn't cooperate, and they didn't have an A&P down the road to hook up the horse and buggy and go shopping, and so but there was definitely and we don't know, there was only one spirit that ever self-identified in the house, only one, and it was the little boy Oliver Richardson to my sister April. But there was a death certificate that my mother found regarding a woman that was probably about her age that had died in the house, and it didn't list a cause of death. And her name was Harmony Arnold.
Huh. Well, she came around the corner and she just looked at me. And I've never had, most spirits have been pretty receptive to me. In all of my private cases, anywhere that I go, generally speaking, I've never had a spirit say this to me, but she looked me right in the eye, and I'm sorry for swearing, but she had this evil look about her, and she said, "Fuck you." And she went right down in the basement, and she looked right into my eyes. I'm like, whoa, okay. I come out into the other room, and Dawn tells me that the spirit talking to her doesn't want me to help any of the spirits in the house, doesn't want me talking to any of the spirits. I'm like, okay. And then I was pulled outside. So I went outside, and I was probably out there on the front porch or the front area for maybe 10, 15 minutes. There was nothing in the sky. Just kind of catching my breath and thinking, wow, this is the first time, because most times when I've gone, it's been I've had great conversations with Bathsheba, and I've had great conversations with some of the other spirits there. I've never felt threatened. I never felt like I wasn't supposed to be there or I was being targeted. And Amber comes out, and she's standing next to me, and all of a sudden I'm looking up at the tree line, and I'm like, where do you see that? And then there's the light. And we were there probably maybe 10 minutes, just kind of looking at it like, no, it's definitely not the moon. And by now everyone's come out because they were worried about me and trying to figure out, is she okay? So now we're all standing out there, and I think there were maybe 3 or 4 of us that actually videoed it. And there it was. And it was just continually right above the tree. And you'll see the video because it separates into like 3 balls, and then it goes to 6. It was fascinating.
Oh, I know. I already watched that. I did. I
it?
couldn't help myself, Karen. If you're going to send stuff like that to me, I'm going to have to watch it.
Never in my life have I seen anything like that before. Very peaceful. We're just watching it. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Bill's got it loaded. So if he's got it available, I would love to share it with our viewers.
And the
bottom, it gets brighter and then wanes. It gets brighter and wanes. It's like a soft pulse.
Through the trees?
We don't know, because that's like
We
walked out to the street to try and
That's the moon right
figure
there,
out,
isn't
but
it?
we couldn't.
Unless
Yeah.
the moon.
Wait, through the trees?
No, that's what we were saying. That's initially.
Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Like, through the trees?
And
it's not like a
moving.
stoplight.
Like if you don't
Do you have
move,
that app?
You know, we've been sitting out here this whole time and it wasn't there. And then all of a sudden it started to show up.
Oh yeah, it is moving.
Are you getting?
But it's moving. And like for a little bit it'll come like almost like closer.
What the hay?
Do you see it?
Yeah.
See how it's now starting to get brighter?
Yeah.
and move down. It went even further down.
I don't know. I'm kind of blind, so I don't really.
When I actually go in and zoom in on it, it's giving me 2 distinct lights.
It's glowing blue, or is that just my eyes? Like our halo around it?
It's like shimmering now.
It looks like a star. It looks like a Christmas tree.
Now look, when you do this, there's another blinking light that's up.
Yeah.
Come here. Do they have any?
Oh my God, you are totally right. When you zoom in closer on it,
Right?
Look at all the other things are kind of around it.
Yep.
See there are lights?
And it's ovally. It's not round.
This is freaking
Let's all
Christ.
go.
No.
It could be better life. Can you pick up Bobby on the way?
Go, you go first. Can you pick up
Is it because it's the branches are
Look
moving?
at this, guys.
or-
Look at this. Come look at mine. It's round,
What?
but then it's got like two things underneath it just to the side.
Yeah,
Why is
that's
it-
what we're seeing too.
Are you zooming in?
Nope.
Why is it moving like that?
I don't know.
I'm always afraid to zoom in further.
Look, but like right underneath here, do you see how there's two protrusions right down here?
Yeah.
Every time I look, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Now it's like
Now
oh,
it's three
gone.
things.
It's a little bit higher now.
What the fuck are you?
I'm not kidding you. Now it's three things. See it? There's three things on it.
It looks like eyes in mine, kind
You
of.
see how there's three? There's other
There's-
things on the side of
You
it?
see the three things?
Yes,
There's
I
like three different ones.
There's a big and then there's
Karen,
two
that's
little.
a really good video.
This is like really weird.
What is going on?
You said you wanted to see aliens.
No, I did not say I wanted to see aliens.
No,
He doesn't
well,
like aliens.
come closer then. Come closer.
Yeah, why can't this bad
Here's
boy
that
land
chick.
in
What
the
is
yard?
that? I'm freaking the fuck out.
That's a firefly.
It's like, ay.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I'm gonna zoom out. 'cause it-
Don't
it's
know.
It looks,
Now look at, see?
Round.
Something's down here.
but then when you zoom in,
We didn't take shrooms, do we?
No.
Someone's going through the vents.
No.
What?
I don't know. That's just weird. It looks like.
Now it's moving. Now it's like flat.
Now it's really small. It's like a line. now.
possibly mess with people.
What? No, now it's all one big ball and it's
Yep.
flying away.
no, the two protrusions are at the top
Oh,
now.
what's going on?
I don't know.
If I turn
fucking
around, this
aliens
thing's just
is-
gone.
Let's go walk out.
Well, let me walk down it. If we go down into the path, like if we go down behind the house a little
Can you see
bit.
what the fuck it's doing? Did you see that?
What? Where'd it go?
just went-
That's
yeah.
at the top or to the side, to the right.
I can't see shit.
I don't know how you're missing it.
Oh my god, it's four.
No,
it's four.
it is like
It's-
freaking
yeah.
out.
Look at
It's
that.
like having babies.
Guys, I don't like this.
I'm getting invaded.
What is that?
Is it exploding in yours?
Yeah.
It's like fireworks now.
Guys, look, there's like six above it.
Look at hers.
Look at
It literally
this.
looks like fireworks.
Fireworks.
It's not.
No, that's not fireworks. That is weird. Alana,
No,
go-
I know, but that's what it looks like.
Tavish, go find it and bring it back. You too.
I'm laughing at the commentary of us.
I can imagine. I'm almost glad I can't see it. Yeah. So yeah, that what you experienced is literally something akin to it that happens to me every day and or night. I would say I have the vast majority of my very best sightings in broad daylight.
Really?
But I've had many experiences where I've seen vessels that it appeared to me, and I felt very much that it was a singular vessel that just fractured into numerous vessels. And then after it showed off a little bit and I could really make out the corona, everything would kind of just go back into it. And I find that extraordinary and fascinating and very exciting. I turn into a 5-year-old every time I have a sighting. A 5-year-old on Christmas that just got a new bike without training wheels. It's so much a part of my life and so much a part of my consciousness and so much a part of my cosmic communication that I can't imagine my life being any other way than being in constant contact with those that I refer to as the galactic family.
So is that something that you experienced at the house?
Yes.
and obviously then, followed you throughout the rest of your life. But had you, because I wondered that, what is it about that house that draws that? Is it the location of it? Is it the...
I have always described it as a portal cleverly disguised as a farmhouse. I think that it's kind of some kind of a vortex or a tear in the space-time continuum, or, that there's a certain frequency and energy, a vibration, and a presence around about that house and property that is incomparable to any other place that I've ever been on Earth. And I'm relatively well-traveled, but I've never experienced anything like it. And I've always felt like that was my one home in heart. And I don't have to own it to love it. The house owns me. So I just always want to make sure it's protected.
Yeah.
It's just revered and respected and protected. Because I honor the place. I do have a certain reverence for it. I think that the experiences that I've had there over the course of my life have been in some ways miraculous. And so I'm humbled by it. But I had my first conscious contact with a fleet of vessels passing over that house when I was 13 years old. Really? So as of this year, 50 years. And I know I had contact prior to that. I don't know how I know.
Yeah.
I think I just didn't know what it was. I didn't understand what was happening, why I would wake up from a quote unquote dream, knowing that I had just been flying for hours, that I could go from being inside a vessel to transforming into a bird. Ever since I was a little tiny child, I've had recurring dreams and visions and images that, especially when I am particularly tired, seem to resurface over and over.
Yeah.
I have a recurring dream of drowning. And just at the last moment before I die, I developed the ability to breathe underwater. I can literally continue living by just simply inhaling the water. That's weird.
Yeah.
But I think that it is, I have this ability to bring things that have died back to life. That's happened to me several times in the course of my life. I mean, that's just bizarre.
Yeah.
No, you asked Joe Rivera at the Black Swan Inn about the enormous black spiders that came up onto the veranda of that magnificent mansion and had drowned and were dead. And when I went over and said, bless their little hearts, they just couldn't make it. It was a torrential rain. And they were crawling up onto the veranda and fighting their way up the stairs. And they looked like tarantulas. They were absolutely huge and trying to claw their way into the house. And, Joe runs and closes the doors and makes sure the windows are, tight. Like, no, where are they coming from? I've never seen this before, ever. And, two of them just rolled up, flipped over on their backs. Their legs came in and they died and they didn't move at all. Not at all. And when I noticed them, I went over to them and I guess I said a little spider prayer for them and they came back to life.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. I think that that's not necessarily an ability that I have, but that I channeled a certain energy that, yeah. And, Karen, here's the thing. You are a learned soul, an intelligent woman, has done a great deal of research. And as well as I do that we know nothing compared with what there is to know. It is the curiosity factor. It is the fascination. It is the need for spiritual ascension and,
Yeah.
you know, the growth that comes with human evolution that keeps us ever present in the moment, trying to discover more and more and compile evidence on evidence on evidence until we all get to the point where so much has amalgamated into this recipe for an explanation. And the explanation is that spirit exists.
Yeah.
That the galactic family exists. That's the only plausible explanation for the experiences that you've had and the experiences that I've had almost lifelong.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a different thing for me because I went through my childhood. I mean, I've always talked to spirits. I've always had a connection. And as a little kid, I felt very comfortable with my imaginary friends. And of course, I don't really remember it as easy as I do now. But, as a kid, I was outside and I enjoyed my imaginary friends. And then I went through the time period where most of us, you start to grow up and then you realize that, well, not everybody has imaginary friends. And through, a good chunk of my life, and I talk about this often, even like at events, of just the world, you go from being a child and being very comfortable with your abilities and yourself to then coming into the world that, The Exorcist comes out and the Omen and the Amityville Horror, and you start realizing, ooh, I'm different. Wait a minute, this is not a good thing. And I really shut a lot of that down out of fear. And my family wasn't like I'm different with my children because my children have abilities. So I was very embracing of that and helped them with their own, kind of like taught them how to explore.
Yeah.
I didn't have that growing up because my parents, this wasn't happening to them. So it was different for me. And then which I write about this in my first book, Spirit Adventures, when I went to the Shanley Hotel, at the time period, I had a magazine. It was just a digital magazine. And I thought, well, this will be my way to start kind of embracing some of my abilities, and I'll write about it, and I'll write about paranormal and spiritual and different things. And thought, well, I'm going to go to this hotel and I'm going to write about what it's like to stay in a haunted location. And when I went there, I had no idea that all of my mediumship basically was like right in my face, and I couldn't hide it anymore. Yeah. I mean, it was, I walked into that hotel and I could hear people talking to me. I could see people, and it just was there. And that pushed me into really exploring and understanding myself. And that's been great. And I've embraced it fully. Now, going to the Conjuring House, I feel like I'm at that next level. I don't even know if you call it a level, but just, okay. It's made a lot of wheels spin in my head of, okay, so here is this being talking to me. Now, when I do my readings and I do my galleries, oftentimes I have higher beings that I channel, and I will speak what they're saying, or I will write what they're saying. And it's definitely a language that's not mine, just in the way that it's worded. Yeah. Very talking about humanity, really deep messages that I'm delivering to people. And I've never known who it is, but this is like, I mean, it's a female voice that I will hear. And then it brings me to when I was a child. I think I was 7, And my first experience that I can really recall was everybody in my family were sleeping and I was watching TV. And I just had this feeling to go to my bedroom. And my bedroom I shared with my younger sister, and it was at the end of the hall. And as I'm walking down the hall, I can see my door is ajar and the room is illuminating. It's really bright. And I'm walking down the hallway and I get to the door and I open it. And there was this huge, beautiful being in my room looking at me. And just, I mean, massive. And it was all swirly, vibrant colors. Looked like a female. Her hair was all long, just very angelic looking. And I can remember it like it happened to me yesterday. And I just looked at her and I looked at her eyes and I had this exchange of knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, hello. Where most kids should be freaking out. It's like, and I just looked at her like, oh, hi. Like, hello again. And I went back into the living room to watch TV. And then I started thinking about this, like, okay, so what are these beings? Like a lot of people refer to them as archangels. Are they archangels or are they higher beings from other places that, maybe different cultures associate them as being angels and maybe other cultures associate them as being aliens. I don't really know what they are, but maybe they've been with me my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And going to the Conjuring House for whatever reason opened that door for them to talk to me.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And
it
scares
does.
the shit out of me because I'm like, I've got the ghost thing down, but I don't have this down.
It's part of your spiritual ascension, Karen. It is. It's part of your personal growth process. There's nothing stagnant about you and your abilities. And they will absolutely continue to unfold. And when you were told much earlier in life that you were just beginning to tap into your abilities, that was truth. That was. And whatever it was spoke truth to you. I knew that about you before we even had this conversation, but this isn't something that you've shared with me before. I just knew it. And it's that same kind of certain knowing, that same kind of visceral connection that tells me that you have to be one of the conduits on the planet where this information comes in and then it is imparted. And I'll give you a case in point and why I know I fulfill that purpose in some respects as well. Very often when I lecture, I really don't remember what I said.
Yeah.
I'll remember a little of this and a little of that, and I'll remember that I touched on this and I touched on that. But when I get into that kind of zone, when I get into that place where I'm just the vessel articulating the message, it's not that I consciously thought of it prior to speaking the words. It just came through me and went out. Just came through and went out. And also when I'm in the healing zone and someone comes up to me and I can feel their pain. I can literally feel their pain trembling within their vessel. And I'll just lean over and say, give me your pain as though you're giving me a gift. I won't hold on to it. It will not burden me, but give it to me. You need to be lighter. And very often tears are involved. Very often tissues are involved. It's a very emotional thing. It can happen in a very short period of time, a minute or two, but it is life altering for the person who has experienced it. So in a way, it's interesting because I get to be the experiencer And I also get to be the conduit for the experiences of others.
Yeah.
So I consider it a blessing, certainly not a curse. Even when I occasionally run up against something that is not so pleasant, that is, rather disruptive or obnoxious or mean-spirited, for lack of a better term. And I basically just go into earthling dominatrix mode and say, I'm stronger than you are. Don't even. And darkness does not tend to come around me because I drown it out with my light. And I think that's one of the most important messages that you and I can impart to anyone, is that as long as you live in the light, it's almost like wearing, it's as, like a suit of armor. Yeah. Like the shell of an armadillo. Like, don't even think about it. Really?
No, it's true, because that's it. And I have a lot of people that will ask me if I ever get scared, if I ever get afraid. And I've had a lot of people just, do demons exist? And it's like, I don't necessarily know if I'm just not in my presence.
Yeah, not in my presence. I've never seen a demon. I don't know if demons exist. I know evil exists.
Evil exists.
And manifestations of evil exist. Yes.
I feel the same way, but I don't personally. I've always had this knowing that I've been protected above and beyond me. And in some ways, like when you're describing about, taking on that pain, when like I tease people and I always say, like, I'm the uneducated medium. And they're like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, I never sought out to be a medium. It's something I was born with, and I couldn't tell you anything about crystals. I couldn't tell you anything about astrology. I pride myself in that everything I do talk about comes from spirit. It's what I've learned from them through the readings, the galleries, the investigations, the private cases. It's all what they share and tell me is then what I'm teaching and saying to you. But when I had my experience at the Shanley, which was really the time period that, like I said, the dust on my abilities came off the shelf.
Yeah.
And I had tuned into a woman there, and I came home, and she followed me home, came right up with me. I thought, I wasn't embracing this at that time. I wasn't investigating. All I was doing was writing about different experiences, but I really was not at all in this world. So this would have been in 2009. And that really, for me, was the pivotal moment of fully understanding myself, because I have this woman here with me, and I can hear her and I can see her. I've got to be out of my mind. And I really felt that. I felt like, this is, oh, Jesus, Karen, get it together. Like, seriously, get it together. I took the kids to school. I came home. My husband's at work, and I'm freaking out in my house because I'm like, there's a woman here and I can hear her. Oh my God. So anyway, I just, I'm like, you know what? You're not going to push this away. You're going to deal with this. And I went through the whole time period, and people, I wrote about this. It's like a whole chapter in the book, because this woman was murdered, and she wanted her story told. So I listened. I sat and I listened, and she was with me for the better part of 8 months. In my house, my family, not so much my husband, but my kids felt her a few times. They saw her. And I ended up going down the road of becoming like her therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And when the time came that she was ready to go, I felt every bit of emotion that she had. And I sat with her and I cried, and she mourned her life and she mourned what happened to her. And the next thing you know, I felt it all come through me. And then she left. And at that moment, I knew two things. One, people need to understand their abilities, and they won't understand them if they're never exposed to spirits.
Right.
So that was the beginning process for me of wanting to host events.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing was, there's some reason that I'm here, that I have this connection with this spirit and helped the spirit find peace and move on.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, that's been something that happens to me. I don't necessarily go seeking it, but I go places. I have people that will contact me, and I'll go to a home, and the next thing you know, there's a spirit there that maybe had a very traumatic life, or something happened, and they need help leaving.
Yeah.
The craziest thing was the time that I helped a priest leave. And I thought, you're supposed to already know where to go.
Why are you stuck here? Yeah, I know.
I'm like, okay. But he was a very bad man. He did very bad things. But that was another time of just realizing, okay, and that's what happens is I'll feel everything, like every human emotion that they had, resent, guilt, just will hit me. And then I let it go. And then they leave. They and I can watch them actually go. It's the most beautiful thing. When you sent me that picture of the swirling colors, that's what it looks like.
Yes.
It's like I can see beyond the door, like I can almost like see the door open, and there's like these swirling colors.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually will call on, I have a Native American that walks with me, and I'll usually call on him, and I'll call on, this archangel. Everybody tells me, call on Archangel Michael. You have this angel with you. And I don't necessarily know if it's an angel or what it is, but I'll call on this being,
mm-hmm.
and I will see it. And it is all swirling, beautiful colors. And the person just goes with them. And it's like, I can't go past that door, but I can watch them go.
Mm-hmm.
I never asked for that. And it's just something that happens. It's quite profound for me.
It is. It's, no, I don't know about you, Karen, but I wandered around on this planet for a very long time, just feeling like such a misfit and just kind of pretending to fit in and doing my best to play along, go along, get along, just whatever it took, and not sharing a lot of my inner world with anyone because it was safe.
Yeah.
It was safe. I could explore my inner realm, what I consider my inner sanctum, without having to suffer the scrutiny of others. I know there's a thin line of demarcation between being interesting and being considered nuts. And when, when
I'm sorry, but true.
It's true. It's like you can only afford to tell them just a little bit to keep them curious, because you start divulging too much and now I don't give a damn. Now I'll tell anybody anything. I am of the age where I may speak my truth without fear of recrimination or retribution, because This chick don't give a damn who believes me or not. I don't.
No, it's
Move
true.
along,
I
little
know.
doggy. This isn't your cup of tea. Sayonara. I'm not here for everyone, and
Yeah.
neither are you.
It is so true. It's
Neither
so true.
are you.
Yeah.
You know, people that are at a certain level of, and it's not a vertical ladder.
Yeah.
It's not even a horizontal evolution. It's not in a spiritual evolution does not exist in 3D.
Yeah.
Oppression and depression exists in 3D. Grief and pain and, you know, just loss and sorrow and you know, that realm, that part, you know, which exists along with the love and the light and the beauty of 3D, just weighs it down so much that I escape into different levels of consciousness. And I know that you do as well, or you would not be able to communicate the way that you do. And I'm telling you right now that both of us were born this way.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Lady Gaga has it right, baby. I was born this way. You don't like it? Sayonara.
Yeah.
You know, and most of the time, if you face any kind of rejection, it's because whoever is rejecting you has witnessed your gift and it scares the hell out of them. And they're afraid, you know, if somebody accuses you of being a liar, it's because they're terrified that you're telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
So, you know, I don't take it to heart. And nor should you. I think you just need to do, and the way for you to keep growing and growing and growing. Hi, Brady. I love my little Brady Baldwin. Oh my God, what a lovely young man.
I know. I'm trying to look. I can see every once in a while it pops up, and I'm like,
yeah. Oh, Steve's been in a couple of times too. Yeah, you know, it's great. Speaking of which, you know, it's almost 10:30. I don't know where, you know, where did the time go?
Oh my God.
But I want to bring Bill back in and see if there are any specific questions that anyone has for you, you know, to open it a little bit to the audience. And because there are some wonderful viewers, many of whom I know personally, that are tapping into this tonight, and they're not shy about asking questions. Bill, are they? They're not shy at all.
No.
There's one from Jacob. Before I got a question before I get to Jacob Smith's question, and let's stop that. Now, someone mentioned in chat that you had taken some video footage on the grounds outside of the home. So what kind of activity did you pick up outside?
That I have?
Yes. Or if you don't recall that, did you pick up any activity on the grounds? I know you've seen the lights going on.
Yeah.
Anything else on the grounds itself?
On
Not
the grounds
inside.
itself?
Yes.
Well, I've seen people coming from the woods. So I don't think we have any video of anything, but I have seen like a line. It's kind of difficult because to me they looked like soldiers, but not necessarily dressed in like modern day soldier attire. But I've seen like a line of people coming up towards the house that all come from the woods. There have been a few lights that have been on the property. But I don't think we took any video of anything outside. Not that I can remember.
All right, so here's a question from Jacob. Let's put it up on the screen. Is there a quality in the organic world when it comes to mediumship? Is the reason someone is sensitive is because the particular body they possess, or does medium come from the flesh or somewhere else?
Is there a quality in the organic?
So where does it come from? Is it something organic, or is it? I mean, where does this come from? From an
I have no clue.
I have no clue, but I can pretty much guarantee you it's not because we ate our vegetables when we were kids. You know, no, sorry. You know, because I mean, if I would be a broccoli medium. You know, I mean,
Yep.
you know. No, I think that it is. I think that our vessels, our bodies are just something to hold our consciousness.
Yeah.
I think we all have it.
That
I
we
remember
come
there
into
was
the
a time
world,
that
you know, bearing gifts that we do,
Yeah.
that each one of us comes into the world with our own special talents and abilities and gifts. And, you know, whether or not we ever discover them, utilize them or not, is where free will kicks in.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has anything to do with our physical vessels at all. I think this is the container.
Yeah.
And everything that's going on with us is, you know, and deep within our soul, our consciousness, our existence, which continues on after we die in some way, shape, or form. Oh, baby.
I've had a lot of people that have asked me, well, can you teach mediumship? You know, is it something that people can develop? And I think that all of us, every human being that is here has some sort of ability. We're all intuitive. From the moment that we're born, we are naturally intuitive. And you think of when you're a baby, you know, a baby naturally knows the sound of its mother. They know where to find the breast. They have innate abilities that we're all born with. And I think that there are different levels of sensitive abilities. I think that, you know, I always describe it as, you know, you have your people that just naturally are tuned into their surrounding or a person that they're in the presence of. And then you have people who have more psychic ability, where, like, for instance, and I've explained this several times, and for people who are watching, they've probably heard me explain it this way. But, you know, so I'm Karen, and here I am. And if you imagine that every thought that I have, every experience is all these little bubbles that are around me. It kind of goes off in my aura, wherever you want to define it. But everything about me is all kind of here. And somebody who has like psychic abilities, and if they kind of are quiet and they shut down their mind and they're standing next to me, they may be able to just naturally grasp some of those. So they may have those knowings of, oh, she lost her mother at such and such, or she has this experience or that experience, and they grasp them for a moment. But mediumship abilities, obviously a medium can also tune into all those little bubbles, but we truly are hearing spirit. Like, all of our information is coming from spirit talking to us.
You think
And
it's
that's the
frequency,
difference.
Karen? Is it a frequency or vibration? Because I think that has a lot to do with it too. And I think that if people just were more aware of their surroundings, their perception,
it's telepathic.
It's very telepathic. I mean, I hear, I'll hear a voice, and it's not my voice, but I will hear a voice talking to me. Like, I can tell it's a male or female or child. And honestly, I don't even know when that began, but that's my first inkling that I can feel somebody around me or around someone, and then I hear them talking to me, and then I'll get the visual. But I do think, a lot of people have said that it does have to do with frequencies, that you're able to tune in, that, why I can and the person staying next to me can't. I don't know the science of that. I would love to. I actually would love to have somebody explain to me how this is possible.
Right.
I really would. I think that would be a wonderful thing, because I don't know why I have this and somebody else doesn't. There's the strangest thing for me is when I do my galleries and I'm like face to face with people, I have like physically will feel what spirit felt. So I'll feel if somebody died of a gunshot. I'll feel it like, oh my God, this just happened. Or if I'm doing a reading with somebody, I will feel their body. And I will see, sometimes I'll see colors around them. Like if they're having pain in their shoulder, I might see a flash of green that comes across their shoulders, which is for healing. And there are many times it's like, what the hell is this? This is like the strangest thing, but it's very bizarre. It's a very bizarre gift, but it's also a really wonderful gift.
Yeah.
Because I personally use it to help people.
Yeah. Are you able to shut it down? It doesn't rule you, does it? I mean, there comes a place where you can just say, my life is my own right now for the rest of the evening. Steve and I are going to go watch a movie.
I was going to say, if he's watching, he'll end up saying, he calls it my butterfly. So I can't shut it down totally. What happens to me is I really feel like I'm in two worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure, Andrea, you must feel the same way. Like I feel like I'm in the clouds and I'm on Earth. I'm a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And I get lost, you know. He calls them my butterfly moments, my Karenisms of where it's like, yeah, all of a sudden I'm someplace else. But in general, I've learned to just hone it right back in and shut it off. So I have learned to control it. Because a lot of people ask that too. Well, you know, when you go everywhere,
important.
You go in the grocery store. My husband, he'll say to me, how is it you can go to the grocery store and you're like the only person that's in the store? You tone out like everybody. He finds it kind of annoying sometimes because I probably come across as being rude. Of like,
but if you don't block what's going on all around you in a setting like that, you'll get bombarded. I can walk past someone.
Yeah.
And feel their energy.
Yeah.
And I mean, to the extent that sometimes I'll just have to, especially if they're really sad or, you know, they're really struggling. And, you know, I have to be my compulsion is to want to walk up to them and hug them.
Yeah.
You know, and just say, it's going to be okay. You'll be all right.
We're huggers.
I was going to say,
do that.
For both of you,
shoot your ass.
For both of you, have you ever gotten physically ill from like a really negative?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I had a case that I worked on. It's in my first book, I think. That being in the presence at that woman's place that she lived, and the whole entire time that I worked on her case, I was sick for 2 weeks. I mean, it like made me very sick. Yeah. Just, it was incredibly dense.
So one thing I want to just throw in before we get to the next question, and then I'll ask a couple of more questions on the screen, but this way you guys have a little more time before we wrap up the show. But it's interesting because in ufology, witnesses also can have that situation where one person sees something, the person next to them doesn't see anything.
Yeah.
Right.
So that does happen. But let's get to a couple more questions. I don't know if you guys approach this question, but Karen, do you pick up on the spirit of animals?
That is not my talent. I have had that happen where I've done readings and somebody's pet has come through, but generally, I don't necessarily know if animals are on a different level or have a different frequency or vibration to them. But I don't. I know a lot of people that do tune into animals really well. I don't.
Okay. I do.
I mean, it happens, but I don't. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Like enormously, even more than people. Like off the charts. It's ridiculous. Wow. But tell me, did you see her name? C. Beth Rage? Is that not the very best name you've ever seen on the internet before?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't think that's her God-given name, but I hope she changes it legally because that is a kick-ass, badass name.
All right, let's get to a couple more. This is from Mr. C. Minion. Is there truth in that spirits contact you in your dreams? I have many dreams that are so visual, it's like being in another world.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's a pathway.
Yep.
It's a pathway. And one of the reasons is because it's not really their intention to frighten us. They just want to communicate.
Mhm.
And so sometimes when we're in the conscious realm and we're overstimulated, bombarded with information and so on, it's hard for them to get in.
Yeah.
And if they do, then we can often misinterpret. Whereas if our whole body is relaxed and we are in a different level of consciousness, some say subconscious or unconscious. I don't think you're ever unconscious.
Yeah.
I don't think there's ever a time that you're not thinking, that your mind is not swirling, but it is a calmer, more tranquil environment in which spirit can make connection. And yes, they do have a tendency to be lucid dreams.
Yeah.
Mine are in Technicolor.
Ooh.
So mine.
And I mean in Technicolor,
Really?
like off the charts, colors you've never seen as an earthling on this plane of action ever in your earthly life, because the human eye has a very limited spectrum of light. Wherever I go and whatever I'm interacting with and whatever I'm seeing, I'm not relegated to the spectrum of light that we are tuned into here on this planet. It's different. It's bigger. So yeah, a lot of people who have encounters with extraterrestrials or who have encounters with spirit often have vivid memories of the encounter, not like any dream that has a tendency to pass when we awaken, and we might remember
Maybe
it for a
bit
moment
foggy.
or two, but then you just forget about it. No, these are I don't even call them dreams. I call them visitations or experiences. And they have a tendency to be seared into our memory. And we retain that memory of them just as vividly lifelong. That's not a standard run-of-the-mill dream. No,
I
it's not.
agree. I've
It's
had lucid
different.
dreams too with extraterrestrials, and it seems so real to me, especially when you have the sleep paralysis associated with it.
Yes. Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
not fun. It is not fun. I'm not saying it was a bad experience, but the sleep paralysis is unbelievable.
I've never had
it
that.
is.
Oh my gosh!
But
I've
telling you,
heard
you don't want it.
people that do.
Bill
You know
was
you're sleeping. You know you're sleeping. You're trying to wake yourself up. You could. I even scream and I'm yelling for mom to come and wake me up because I know I need to be woken up because that's the only way I'm going to get out of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to the next question. Melissa says, Karen, have you ever gotten an impression of what wall holds the 7 dead soldiers? Now, I don't
At
know
the
what
farm.
What wall holds the 7 dead soldiers? I have felt when I've gone that there is, which I actually think that this was before they did the ground penetration.
Right.
That corner.
Yes.
I was always drawn to that corner. I didn't really know why.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now they've determined that there are some
there are
remains that
anomalies,
are
but they're
buried
not
there.
allowed to dig them up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot of soldiers. I think there's a lot of people that are buried on that property that go back. Like a lot of people think just the boundary of the yard, but I'm talking like that go back farther.
It's interesting you mentioned that because Diane wants to know, did you sense anyone buried on the property?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think there's several. There was also a woman that came up from, this has happened several times. I think she's Native American and she's come from the back stream somewhere back there, but she had come up to the house. She's dressed in white, and every once in a while she'll pass through the basement. She came in a couple times ago and actually kind of stopped and communicated with me. And she had been drowned, like she had been chased and drowned in the brook way in the back, like literally held down. She comes up to the house all the time. I think when people are in the house, it's like her opportunity to come up. But I do think that there are a lot of people that have perished on the property. Yeah.
Well, and you know, that stands to reason too, because this is a very old planet.
Yeah.
And you can probably hardly walk anywhere that you're not stepping on, you know, the grave, an ancient grave. Somebody's buried beneath your feet.
Indigenous as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the one more because we have about 10 minutes or so left.
Okay.
This is from Holly. Andrea or Karen, have you experienced a demon or dark evil spirit posing as something not itself, especially at the farmhouse? I'm wondering if Waterman could do that. Could be that.
Well, for myself, I do think there are shapeshifters there.
Mm-hmm.
There's been an older woman that's been upstairs. She sits in the rocking chair upstairs, and sometimes she has a very sinister laugh and she smiles and she'll talk. And other times, there's been just different behavior with different spirits that I've wondered, okay, who are you really? Like I said, there is like this trickster that's there, and I think they do take on some of the spirits. So you think you're talking to them, but you're not. That's just my personal experience. Andrew, you would know more.
I don't think any of them ever tried to jerk me around.
Yeah.
But I have witnessed them jerking other people around.
Yeah.
I think they know they can't get away with it with me.
Yeah.
Because my instincts and intuition is just too sharp.
I've laughed at them a few times. It's like, nah.
Yeah, really.
But
you lying sack of know what. Yeah, you know, it's and yes, they can, you know, since when do I clean up my language on my own show? You know, what's the self-editing bullshit about? Oh, God. But, okay. All right. I got over that real quick. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. I really don't. I just can't tell you. I don't know. You know, I mean, I moved into that house when I was 12 years old, and within 5 minutes, I saw a full body apparition that I mistook as a living, breathing human being. That's how clear and solid and mortal he seemed to me. And then my sister Nancy watched him evaporate into thin air 5 to 10 minutes later, after Christine and Cindy had both seen him too. Yeah. And I mean, literally the day we moved in is when it all began. But nothing happened in that house that any of us can recall. Are you using my fat belly as a pillow?
Well, we have about 10 minutes left. And
oh my God, that's
I know it.
Baby.
We haven't even talked about Bathsheba.
But before I cut out, how can people reach you? Do you have a website, like a social media? Let everybody know where they can find you.
So it's very simple. It's KarenTatro.com. So very simple. And yeah, I host a lot of events. I mean, obviously I'm at the Conjuring House. The only place that I look back and I think, my God, am I ever going to go anywhere else? But everybody wants to go there. So I do host a lot of events there. A lot of events in the New England area that I do, as well as I'm now starting to branch off and travel more. And I have readings that I do, galleries I travel for. So yeah, everything you can go on my website and read all about me.
Well, both of you have a great few minutes left, and keep up the great work, Karen.
Oh,
and
thank you.
There's been a lot of great comments, obviously, about both of you and the work that you're doing, Karen. So have a great rest of the show, and God bless you and your family.
Thank you. You too. It was nice to meet you.
He's a sweetheart.
Yeah, he seems very nice.
He is. He's a sweetheart. He's the best. Well, he'll let me know when we have to hop off, and in the interim, feel free to talk about whatever you feel that we might have missed or not gotten enough in depth.
Hard to believe it. 2 hours have gone by.
I know it's bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting place. It's an interesting place for sure. But that's my hubby there. You
Steve's
two
writing to
are
you. Isn't he sitting in the next room? Can't he
He's
just slip you
downstairs.
notes? Like in, grade school, just slip her a note. Let her all this technology, it's coming between us. And yet bringing us together in unusual ways too.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a cyber hug tonight before I actually get to, yes, Melissa, I quite agree. She has to come back. There's more to hear.
Oh, about Bathsheba, yeah.
Well, you know her history.
Oh my God.
I can't absolve her of anything because I don't know if she did what she was accused of or not, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I think she got a really bad rap in life and in afterlife, and certainly in The Conjuring.
Yeah.
Because somebody had to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And they picked her. That I'll spend the rest of my life defending her honor. Whether,
honestly,
I will, because I just don't think you should accuse somebody of murdering a baby unless you've got some pretty damn hard evidence, to back it up. It's not right. And for me, it's an issue of, what is what's good and what's evil and what's right and what's wrong. And so, I defend her, and I've spoken with Bathsheba through Spirit Box in Florida, in Colorado, and those spirits are not relegated to the house. She never even lived in that house. That was not her home. That was the Richardson Arnold estate. She lived about a mile away as the crow flies at the Sherman Farm over on Collins Taft Road. But of course, there were only a few homesteads in the area when she lived there. Of course, everybody knew each other. And of course, if Bathsheba, considering I think she has some profound attachment to that farmhouse that none of us can explain, but all I have to do is invoke her name, whether it be at her gravesite, whether it be out on a beach in LA, or you know what I'm saying?
I do.
They don't have the boundaries that they're not relegated to the earth.
I think that she knows. I've cried many times with her at the house. From the moment that I walked into the house, I went there open. Just I'm going to experience this for myself. I'm not going to form any opinions.
Yeah.
And right away, I'm like, okay, this woman's here, and she's told me her story. She's followed me home. She's followed my daughter home. She has shown us things about her life. I've had family members of hers come in while I'm at the house. Her Enoch uncle, I think it was her uncle. Different family members have come on behalf of her. And I think that those that really she shares with, I think she's always going to be connected with. Mm-hmm. It is a very sad story.
It is.
It really is a very sad story. And I do the same thing. There are times I think about writing a book just about her, because I've and she isn't always nice.
No,
I know. Honestly, there was one experience that I Nicole, if my daughter's watching this, she knows exactly what I'm talking about, because there was a woman. So every time when I'm there, I'll stand in front of the fireplace, and I usually will kind of do like an open thing, and I'll start communications, and then everybody can kind of branch off and do their own thing or follow me. And she always comes in like the library corner, in the living room corner, like there's this spot, like I always think it had to have been different because there had to have been a walkway or something there, because she always comes from that particular corner. And she was
That's where
standing
Mrs. Warren said she had a sense of that spirit, right there where you just
right in
described.
that spot. And so there were women that were standing on the other side of the room. And, you know, we're talking, and the woman called her batshit crazy. And I'm telling you, Andrea, everyone in the room felt it. She flew. Nicole looked at me like, oh, she didn't like that. She literally flew across the room right at that lady. And the lady felt it. She's like, oh my God, it's like ice cold right here. It's like, well, you pissed her off. I mean, like, seriously, you pissed her off. And it reminded me of in the scene in the movie where they showed her coming off the dresser.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, even though that wasn't her, but that was her energy. I mean, she was mad. She went right across that room, almost like I feel like if she could have ripped her hair out, she would have. But I've seen the bad side of her, and she'll get angry at me if I'm not giving her a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll feel her like right on my back.
Yeah.
But in general, I feel for her. I want to speak her story.
So do I.
Want
Karen,
people to know her.
I think that I'm going to need to get up there spring, early summer, and we'll go to the house together.
I would love
and then
that.
I'll bring you back on the show, and we'll do some comparative analysis of the experiences that we had. So let's just consider tonight to be segment 1, okay, in a series of our ongoing supernatural shenanigans.
Oh, there you go. I like that title.
Yeah. But we are out of time tonight.
Okay.
And I just wanted to, before we leave, I just want to ask everyone in their heart of hearts to pray for the people of Ukraine.
Yeah.
I want all of us to focus our energy on projecting forward a world where this kind of wanton destruction and death and pollution and horror no longer exists. So please, before you go to sleep tonight, thoughts are things. Put your thoughts out into the world for a better world, because the one that we're living in right now is woefully inadequate for the survival of the species. And the self-destructive tendencies of human beings must abruptly come to an end. So let us all please work together to lift each other up and to be the light that we seek on planet Earth at this critical juncture. I love you all. Yeah. Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having.
Go jump on Steve and give him a big hug around the neck for me, okay?
I will.
I love you, darling. Thank you for coming.
Talk to you soon. Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.